Good evening, guys. This is Sir Tripsarat, and today, on this late commute to office, I want to get something off my mind. Something is ruminating in my mind over a really long time, and I just want to talk about it and get it off my mind. So, I am looking for a residential property to buy, and I am actively looking for it. So yeah, your boy Sir Tripsalat is growing up. He's going to deal with stuff like EMIs, home loans, and interest rates. Fun stuff, isn't it? Between all these things, something is conflicted in my body. And you know what? The thing is called risk appetite. I've been thinking about it. You don't get it, the connection between riding and owning a home? Okay, let me explain it then. Risk is what we take, what we mitigate every single day with some or the other kind of safety equipment, right? Like the risky stuff we do all day. Like for example, let's take this commute for example, right? I'm going to office, it's 35 kilometers away from my home, and I ride, right? And according to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, around 1.5 lakh people are fatally injured annually. So this is a risky endeavor, right? Commuting to office on a two-wheeler is a risky endeavor. But still then, you go ahead and mitigate those risks by wearing a helmet, having gloves, and also riding shoes. But even then, the risks are mitigated, not eliminated. Okay, so that gives you a baseline that yes, you engage in risk-taking activities day to day. But then why does it feel that to go ahead and own a property or a flat or anything is way more riskier than this? As far as I know, nobody has died trying to own a property. Yeah, people have been killed, but they didn't die out of accident, right? Like, see these buildings for example, nice buildings, right? Do you know how much the going cost for these are? These salesmen of these properties would nonchalantly quote you a number which ends with a CR. For them, that's just a number. They will say, yes sir, it's 1.4 CR, 1.6 CR. It's like, and you would haggle with them, or like your family member would haggle with them, no, 1.1 CR पे fix करते हैं ये नहीं होगा. And you would keep haggling with them like it's like you're going to buy some vegetables too. And they keep on pressure testing you like नहीं sir आप 50,000 का book कर लो. So if you're talking about a 1.5 CR property, you are not going to own that thing to 50,000 like, booking amount. The moment you do that thing, these guys start getting on your neck and say कि like नहीं आज ही हमको 40 लाख चाहिए. And for a person like me who has just like means to scrape by, definitely getting 40 lakhs without taking a loan is out of the question, right? So for me, over leveraging yourself to buy a property is beyond comprehension, right? कि like भाई तेरे पास 1.5 crore नहीं है that you would go ahead and buy a piece of property. You would actually have to be really optimistic to say कि हाँ मैं next 5 साल 10 साल 15 साल में इतना कमा ही लूँगा, which is like my like कमा लूँगा, and I will also live, survive and prosper with the extra money that I make over 1.5 CR. Do you imagine the amount of optimism you need yourself to say that कि हाँ मैं next 5, 10, 15 साल में I will earn this much amount of money, and then I will earn some more over it that I could normally go ahead and survive, not only survive, prosper and thrive. Wow, over and above this 1.5 CM. Oh my god. I can't wrap my head around it. I might be poor. I think I'm poor to like even be talking about this. But somebody who has the means to do this thing, or somebody like who is doing this thing, उसको देख के लगा कि what I am doing right now is a risky behavior. For me, what he is doing right now is a risky behavior. From an observer perspective, the other guy looks taking a higher risk than it should be, right? But the person who's doing it right now, like me riding this bike, or that person going ahead and leveraging something to buy that particular piece of property, is like, hey, dude, the risk's calculated. Like, I know for sure that in a road accident, I'm going to fuck myself up. So, I tend not to be in that accident. I try to avoid it. Isn't it? For him, he would say like, yeah dude, मैंने 30 साल का लोन लिया है. I have quite a significant chunk of my savings which I have not poured into this this leveraging for my property. कल को अगर मेरा job नहीं रहेगा, कुछ नहीं रहेगा, तो I can dip into my savings. Yeah, if the situation is seriously bad or so bad, I will ditch everything and go home. खेती है घर पे मेरी, खाने पीने को मिलेगा मेरे को. And this attitude of like, hey, what happens in case of failure is what gets me excited. I can nonchalantly say like, see, if I have to ditch my bike, I have a good set of helmet, I have a good set of riding gear, I have nice gloves. I think I can survive if I have to ditch my bike in a case of a mishap. I hope so that that mishap never occurs, but if it occurs, I think I would be safe. The same thing goes for that guy who's trying to buy that 1.5 CR flat, saying that यार क्या ही होगा max to max, नहीं कर पाएंगे तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, ये सब बेच के गांव चला जाऊंगा, खेती करूंगा. It's like, yeah, it's not a very like, you might think it's a cavalier approach to life, but that's how you try to make some sense of this rat race, right? That somebody is trying to buy a like a property in a close proximity to a big city is because that city provides new experiences, new opportunities that was missing from that person's formative years, and he would like to provide that to his upcoming family, right? For me, owning what do you say, a property or some tangible assets does not mean that much, and I would rather go ahead and pay for some experience. The experience that I have riding this bike, the experience that I have meeting people riding this bikes is way more than owning something. I'm not saying one is good, one is bad. I think you should have both, and at different ages you have different level of risk appetite, right? When you're younger, you seem insurmountable, you are invincible at that particular age, right? And at that age, having the coolest, fastest, most noise making bike would be the crowning achievement that you have done. Like, come on, think of it, like 15, 16, 17-year-old guy who's taking a GT650, a Chrome GT650 to its college. भाई उसके दिमाग में तो बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक ही बज रहा है ना कि लाइक हीरो की एंट्री हो गई है. He is the central hero in his own life, and he is thinking like, hey, everybody is looking at me and they are jealous of me, right? He has just owned a bike. For you and me, it's just a means of transport, it's a piece of tool, but for him it is his crowning achievement. Similarly, For a guy who has lived through ages and is trying to settle down, for him the first priority goes like, hey, I don't think I would want my kid to grow up in a rented house. I want something that he would call his own. I want to give my next generation a route to come back to. And this is not a feeling that is what do you say, only belongs to me, or it's like it's my feeling. It has been a feeling for a lot of older folks who had owned some kind of land at some point in the past, right? You can hear your older generation say that no matter what happens, don't sell this piece of land. You transfer it to your upcoming generations and let them have this piece of land. What does it tell you? It tells you that whenever you have some piece of land or some piece of like property which is tangible, a tangible piece of property like a land, like why I say land, I will come back to it later, but a tangible piece of property, you have a sense of belonging, you know where you come from, okay, that gives you pedigree. And once you have that, any kinds of problem that you encounter, the वॉइस इन योर माइंड से कि देख कुछ नहीं होगा ना, सब बेच बाच के अपन खेती करेंगे लैंड पे. यू हैव दैट अश्योरेंस दैट कि हे, go ahead, tackle the problem, but if it does not work out, you always have a plan B. So why fret? Go give your 100%, right? And that sense of flawed confidence gives you the tool to go ahead and come out of a predicament that you are right now. That true? Okay. This is also the reason the kids of all immigrants have only one thing on their mind. You have no plan B. There is no safety net. Either you succeed or you perish. And that drive in their own head is what pushes them to succeed. It's a very simple thing. Either you succeed or you perish. And as we are moving towards this global economy where people have moved from their roots to more urban households, this mentality that either you succeed or you perish has led to a lot of mental health issues. I don't want to bring up a very recent tragic event that has captured the combined consciousness of the Indian people, but somewhere or the other there is that small piece of doubt in the back of my mind which keeps on saying that hey, will I make it? Will I make it? Will I make it? Am I doing good? Am I doing good? Am I doing good? What happens if this fails? What happens this does not works out? What's my plan B? And for a lot of folks, there is no plan B. And like, even if they do, it seems like they don't in their head, right? And as I said, that you suffer a lot more in your head than you do in your real life. And I absolutely agree to that. The ruminating thought of what happens if I can't make it makes you suffer through night after night after night, and it kills you a little bit every single day. And that is what is happening with me right now. See, while I take significant risks riding a bike, I still have some control over like whatever the events that are going to happen in the future, right? I still have some control over the events that might occur in next 5 minutes, next 10 minutes, or next 5 seconds, right? And if nothing, I can go ahead and brake, slow down, avoid a mishap. But this buying a house thing now, it feels more like you are being strapped to a rickety roller coaster. You can just pray that the housing market should not collapse. That's it. That's the only thing you have. Okay, I have absolutely no idea why does 1,200 square feet piece of concrete slab is 1.5 cr. Why? Like why? Come on, like location. भाई क्या है तेरे लोकेशन में? तेरे घर के नीचे झोपड़पट्टी है. काय का लोकेशन? Like नहीं सर लोकेशन. Like what the fuck? Like are you even listening to yourself? And they would ask like there is some kind of inherent goodness in buying that house. Like once you buy that house, people would go ahead and give you like garlands or something. And they are trying to hype you up, but you know that's fucking marketing bullshit. Dude, come on. I'm 30 some years old. I have seen people market me stuff. अरे बाबा मैं ऐसा वो क्या कहते हैं पिरामिड स्कीम वाले मार्केटिंग वाले से बैठा वो कौन सा था तुम्हारे नीचे दो उसके नीचे दो एंड ऑल उस सब के क्या हुए थे मीटिंग में बैठ चुके हो लाइक आई हैव सीन पीपल गिव मी अ बुलशिट एंड यू आर डूइंग एग्जैक्टली द सेम थिंग. And that guy has the audacity when I said like, hey, this deal is not happening, I'm going to walk out of here. He gets up from his table and literally stands in the doorway trying to block me. Hats off to that fucking Sardarji who did that. Oh my god, like तुमने तुम्हारा MBA like ऐसा पूरा दिल पे ले लिया है कि नहीं तुमको मैं 5,000 रुपये तुम्हारे जेब से निकाल के ही रहूँगा. Like even if 5,000 is nothing for me, but why should I give it? Why should I give it to you? I don't want any obligation. I just want to sleep over whatever you have, whatever deal you have offered me. And he was not even offering me time to think. लाइक जैसे मैं कोई मोबाइल फ़ोन का कवर खरीदने के लिए आया है कि लाइक ये तुमको मैंने 3 कवर दिखाया ना, नाउ यू आर अंडर द ऑब्लिगेशन टू बाय वन ऑफ देम. व्हाई द फक शुड आई बाय? मैं मोबाइल फ़ोन का कवर नहीं बाय करेगा, तुझसे घर का बाय करेगा मैं. इट गॉट मी वर्कड अप. माय एंटायर वीकेंड वेंट हाउस हंटिंग एंड assholes like these have gotten me worked up. Like you are talking about my one of my like probably my biggest purchase in my entire life. I hope I make purchases bigger than this thing in my future life, but right now it is my biggest purchase. And you want me to commit to it by by paying $5,000 right away? Like that's how you lower the barrier to entry कि तुम भैया 5,000 देके बुक कर लो, उसके बाद अपन बुकिंग कर देना. And then they don't say you कि like बुकिंग के 15 दिन बाद they would require like 50% of the payment. So like are you kidding me? Fuck. They are so sales driven that they don't understand the basic human tendency of कि like कि मैं एक चीज़ देखने में सब्जी खरीदने के लिए 4 दुकान घूमता है, ये घर खरीद रहा है, मैं तेरे को अभी कमिट नहीं करेगा. इट्स लाइक नहीं सर आप लोग खरीदना है तो अभी क्या दिक्कत है आपको खरीदने के लिए? पैसा दिक्कत है. आई डोंट हैव 1.5 करोड़ रुपीस इन माई पॉकेट राइट नाउ टू थ्रो इट ऑन योर टेबल. हैड आई डन दैट आई वुड नॉट हैव सीन योर फकिंग फेस. Done. So yeah, I don't have the risk appetite to go sign a document which feels like a Russian roulette to me with an invisible bullet. I don't. I like real risk. I like how that car might kill me right now in next 3 minutes. I like that odds. I know I have control on my own throttle, my gears, my clutch, my brakes, and I can manipulate them to change the outcomes. I do not like the idea of like buying a home and just praying to God that it does not devalue in like next 15 years. And risk भी देखो ना, यहाँ पे risk कब तक है? Like you finish riding, your risk has ended. Agreed that riding gives you instant gratification, but तुम्हारा रिस्क भी तो उतनी जल्दी ख़त्म हो जा रहा. What about your home buying experience? like it's a supremely delayed gratifying experience, but उसका risk भी तुम्हारा immediate खत्म नहीं हो रहा है. It's not that कि like your risks end immediately. No. Your your risk takes the same time as your mortgage terms. Like if you say कि like मेरे को EMI करने के लिए 30 साल का लोन चाहिए, your risks are gonna lie with you for next 30 years. You don't even know what you're gonna have for dinner. और 30 साल तक तुमको ये रिस्क पालना है. Oh my god. I know you can go ahead and repay your loans earlier than the term, but फिर भी वो रिस्क है ना. कल को तुमको कुछ हो जाए, what will your family do? Yes, you have life insurance, yes, you have loan insurance, but you are not there that if they are going to get that money or not, right? You die and that's all. That's the end of story. Lights off. Bye, fin, khatam, khalas. But you took the decision of putting your family in that position where they are gonna have to mitigate that risk, right? They didn't sign up for that risk. You signed up for that risk, and now when you are not there, they are going to have to deal with the risk that you took. In my mind, I just can't rationalize this. I just can't. I know the obvious solution is don't die while there is risk. Die after the risk has gone. Yeah, that's the easiest solution. But it's not like कि मेरे पास एक एक्सेल शीट है जहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि भाई तेरा डेथ ना इस दिन लाइक 2028 में 6:29 पे 13 अगस्त को होगा. ऐसा लिखा रहता तो फिर लाइक आई कुड हैव प्लान, बट ऐसा प्लान नहीं है. सो आई डोंट नो. You guys tell me like what should I think, how should I deal with this? Like around, I think it was by NHA, not NHA, the housing authority. कौन सा वो ये था? RERA, yeah, RERA guys says that 40% of the urban public would want to buy a home in next 5 years. 40%. That is more than the guys on two-wheelers, if you can think about it. Like 40% of the entire rural population. Sorry, the urban population. And around 60% of them have inhibitions about the repayment terms of the loans that they take. 60%. They're afraid. I'm not saying that these properties are like distressed properties. They would not be able to fulfill the loans. Yeah, they might scrape by. They would fulfill the loans. But do you understand, like this kind of fear, this kind of inhibition is not very local to me. This is in public consciousness, but I think people choose not to talk about it. But this is something that you have to do. अदरवाइज सोसाइटी क्या बोलेगी, राइट? कि तुम अभी भी भाड़े के घर पे रह रहे हो, तुम्हारा खुद का घर नहीं है, स्वतःचा घर नाही आहे तुमच्याकडे, कसा मी तुम्हाला मला मुलगी देऊ? समथिंग अ लॉट ऑफ माय मराठी co-workers would have realized, right? No, like this is a reason why the housing market is so fucking inflated. And if it goes down like that .com bubble or the banking bubble, oh my god, the amount of things that it would fuck up is monumental. Do any of you think of this, or is it just me overthinking? Okay guys, I think my weekend experience might have ruined your weekday experience or weekend experience depending upon when I post this. But yeah, this is what my thought is. What do you guys think? Riding home ownership and risk appetite. Anyways guys, that's all for this video. I know that this was not my normal content, but I needed to get something off my head. I have been ruminating it for hours and hours and hours over the weekend, and I wanted to get some third party perspective, so I'm putting it out there. If you have some comments, suggestions, critique, please let me know. I read all comments बिकॉज होते नहीं है, क्योंकि लोग देखते ही नहीं मेरे वीडियोस, तो एक कमेंट पढ़ने के लिए कितना टाइम जाता है, राइट. चलो, on that high note, I would like to end this video and continue my ride to office. It's already very late. Sure, bye bye, see ya, ride safe. That's all.